So welcome to some games we've been playing recently. We've got Rob back on the show, 2022. So guys, let us know what you've been playing down below in the comment section. We'll be there reading it and giving other people some recommendations. We're playing a lot of old games. Strangely, because today when we're filming this is on my birthday. I'm 48 years old. I've lived for 17,000 days at this point. Too many, if you ask me.
That's a day or two.
That's a day or two and all that. But we said we get together and we play Sweet Home. And we've been playing Sweet Home. And we have a lot to say about it. What would you like to say about it first? This is a gift I got for you. And we were very looking forward to playing it.
Definitely very looking forward to playing with it. And at the outset, what I'm going to say is, with the means they had at their disposal, I am very impressed with what they've pulled off.
Yes, this is a Famicom game that only came out in Japan. It was based on a movie. Supposedly it's better than the movie. And we got a translated version of the game. And so we finally get to play it in English. So we kind of, this game never came out over here. So it's kind of a remarkable thing.
It is.
And it's kind of a precursor to survival horror and what survival horror is, because it's by Capcom. It's kind of the first survival horror game by them.
Yeah.
And it definitely has all those elements in there.
Oh my goodness, does it ever.
Where do we start? Let's start at the beginning. I gotta say, I like the box art. I think that looks amazing.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful stuff. And I kind of got it wrong. I thought it was going to be a little bit more of an action RPG.
Right?
Kind of a little bit that way, but it's not really that. You start with a bunch of different characters. And yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, okay, so you start out with this room full of characters and the sort of the opening preamble of going into the house. You're trying to get a photo of this famous fresco paintings by the person who used to live here. And the entrance collapses, so you're locked in. It's a fairly, stereotypical tropes for survival horror so far.
Yeah, just like Resident Evil 1.
The controls, you're controlling a character, you have two buttons. You have A and B. And you got the cross pad, you got your start and select, of course. But, I mean, the interface is very clunky at first. It's not intuitive. I think by today's standards, we're very spoiled by tutorials and hand-holding and all that. Whereas this one, it's just you sink or swim. Sunshine.
Yeah, like switching between the different characters at times feels very clunky and not intuitive, as you were saying. Nowadays, you just hit probably the right button, you switch characters, it's like it'd be nothing. But everything feels like a bit of a chore in here.
Well, it's a very... Yeah, it took about a good 10 minutes just to kind of...
Get with the flow. How do I play this game?
What do I do? How do I this, that? Because the menu options were not your... I mean, it plays very like old school Dragon Quest, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like with that menu of like, look or
an item
or there's talk or...
You can save in there as well.
There's party, which means you can agree to team up. And you can team up with up to a party of 3 for traveling around. Every character has a unique item to them.
Yeah, like a camera, they have one is fire, one is a
the
healer.
lighter, there's the key, there's the first aid kit, and there's a vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
And so...
So they begin with, like you're in that room, you don't know how to get out, and it's like, all this stuff is on the floor. It's glass, wasn't it?
Yeah, right away, I was like, I think I need the guy with the vacuum to get that glass.
Yeah, and so you get that out of the way. Okay, so you can get out of there. And then things start to open up a little bit, and you're also introduced, as you're running around, trying to look at things, solve little puzzles all over, combat. Like first-person combat, which was kind of surprising to see. I was like, oh yeah, this is in the game as well.
I didn't realize that it had sort of RPG-style first-person combat. It's also
very well drawn.
Like the gorgeously drawn.
Yeah.
But it's the sort of the random encounter combat like in old-school RPGs.
Yes, which was so surreal to see. And then we're like, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, I know exactly how this game is that you can have instant deaths. Isn't it? You can just like fall down a hole and you're gone, and that character's gone forever.
Well, that's something that I looked into because I was like, okay, well, how do I get them back? And then I looked it up, and they said no,
you don't get them back.
Permadeath.
And then that's the other thing. As I was saying, each character has their hit points, but that only lasts the entire length of the game. If those hit points go down, you're done. So too much random combat, and you're not healing yourself, you're gone.
There are hidden around tonics.
Yes.
If you find one, and you figure out how to use it.
Yeah, we were trying to.
And you got to try and get both party groups together in one place. And if you use a tonic, it'll restore everyone's health and their prayer points.
Right.
But there's not a lot of them around, and the combat is relentless.
Yes, it is very old school, and it's to be expected. This is 1989. This game was released. So that's padding on the game.
Yes.
But not only do you have to solve all these difficult puzzles at times, you have this combat grinding you down. The game is constantly grinding you down. And then there's traps that are set.
Yep.
You can be walking, and a chandelier starts to fall on you. Like that's really neat stuff.
And they give you a quick option if you want to dodge left, you want to dodge right, you want to try and duck.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Or are you just going to stay there and take it?
Yeah.
You sort of, and of course, with the fervor of the game, you're scrambling. Oh, I don't know where I'm going to go. What am I going to do? I'm kind of left, right, left, up, down. Wait, no, backwards. What do I? But you got to be quick.
You got to be quick.
You got to figure it out.
And you got to do the right things, and that you should save all of the time in this game.
Like every 3 seconds.
Every 5 seconds.
Constantly.
I remember when you lost the camera guy. You're like, no, I've lost the camera guy. And then you're like, I said, do you think you can get another camera? You're like, yeah, I think so. You get into a room, try to get the camera, you can't get it. It's another puzzle
Yeah,
anyway.
the ceiling collapsed in again, and then there's no other way into that room but that door I came in, and you can't get over the rubble.
So again, another puzzle we got to figure out. Do we go out, drop down onto the other side? You know, like, we've done these games quite a bit. We were talking about, just before, we were talking about it. I know why Capcom didn't release this game back in the day. It would have blown players away in its difficulty at that time. I mean, we're seasoned veterans now, and we were still like,
North American gamers especially, I don't think we're ready for something that was this slow-paced and involved and hard.
Yeah, at that time, I don't think so. People were like playing Mario, and Zelda was a thing that was screwing everybody up at that time. You threw this in?
For its time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think me and Rob were really impressed with what they were able to do with the interface and the limitations of the NES, and what they were able to do with graphics. Even some of the enemies have animation.
Yep.
And you didn't even see that in Dragon Quest 1 or 2. I mean, you just didn't see animation. You got that in Phantasy Star, but you didn't get it on many NES games for first-person combat back then. So to see that, like, there's a skull and there's a snake. The snake head that comes out. It's like, that's...
Snakes come out the eye sockets and back in.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting to see that. That was really
so cool.
Impressive and all of that. And we're going to put some more time into it for sure. But right now, we just kind of played for a couple of hours. We're like, okay, let's come and chat about it because we said we were going to and all of that. So very fascinating. It's interesting because one of my friends stopped skeletons from fighting. He was known as the Happy Video Game Nerd back then. Kind of like me. We became very good friends. But he did a review on the game and was preaching about it. And I was like, oh my god, I've got to try this game. It's like, I swear to God, it's like 14 years later finally. We're a little slow around here at times, but we get to things.
We get there.
We get
eventually.
there. We get there. What else have you been playing?
Okay, well, I have to talk about this game. I've waited so long. When I first saw it announced on Steam, I wishlisted it. I added to the votes to get it actually greenlit and everything else. It finally came out, and then it was announced it would come to consoles. Deedlit in the Wonder Labyrinth.
Oh, yes.
A Record of Lotus War game.
Oh my god, the history for that for us. Lotus War is a very, very important anime for me, for Rob. It was very Dungeons and Dragons back in like 1989, 1990.
Based off one of the early modules even.
D&D was done right by anime. And there's been a lot of good Lotus War games over the years, but so I got a call from Rob one day out of the blue, and he says, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sitting around. He's like, hey, have you played Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth? And I'm like, no, but I have it ordered on Play Asia. And he's like, it's on Game Pass right now. And I'm like, he's like, you have, and he was going on at me, you got to play this game. I said, oh yeah, I'm waiting for the Switch version. He said, no, you got to play it. It gave me that Castlevania Symphony of the Night feeling. Tell me your feelings on that. Yeah.
Okay, so I downloaded it. It was in that Christmas time, just before Christmas. And there was snow outside. It was cold. I had the fireplace on. I downloaded the game. The kids were in bed. It was quiet. I had a couple of drinks, and I sat down and I put it on. And the music instantly just surrounded me. And I looked at the start screen, and I started the game. Symphony of the Night vibes just washed over me, like just flooded me. And because I played Symphony of the Night in winter near Christmas for the first time in that games room in my old house in Delta.
Was that like 97, 98?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, and remember because that was when I was living, I had like a bedroom off of which there was like a little sort of a loft type room that looked down on my living room.
Oh, I remember it well.
So I slept in the bedroom, but my games room was that loft room. So I had this like 2-room suite in our house.
Yeah, with the speakers you had.
And I had like 8 speakers in stereo. I mean, there was no surround sound at the time, but I had 8 speakers done in tandem, 4 on each side, from one corner of the room to the other.
Amazing.
With an old 70s amp and receiver that had the sound plugged into it. I had my 36-inch tube TV CRT, my beanbag chair, a big mug of beer, and I was just in heaven playing it.
Yeah.
And it totally brought that back. All of those feelings, the nostalgia.
That's what he told me. He said, I had that same feeling I had back then. He's like, you need to play the game and phone me up. Where, I was a little busy at Christmas getting all the videos done and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden Christmas Eve came. And Kim and the baby, they went for a little walk. And they were coming back. I think they did some shopping. And had like 40 minutes. And I sat down and started playing it. And I'm like, oh my God. This is really, really good. It's not as deep as Symphony of the Night by any stretch of the imagination, but it's really a nice little game. If you have Game Pass, definitely try it out.
You have to.
If you're a Symphony of the Night fan, definitely try it out. If you're a Lotus fan, definitely try it out. I mean, yeah, high recommendation.
The animation is gorgeous. The music is excellent. The gameplay, so it feels exactly like Symphony of the Night. The graphical differences aside, it's a little more linear.
Yeah.
It does not have anywhere near as much exploration between finding of power-ups.
No.
But if you have that heavy nostalgia we have for Symphony of the Night, if you have that deep love for it, this will bring that feeling back. It'll scratch that itch that we've been wanting that Symphony of the Night sequel for so long. This will at least give you a taste to hold on to.
And it was nice. We had snow this Christmas, just right on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And it was perfect for playing that game on Christmas Eve. I was like, oh, this is a magical little moment. And I really, really enjoyed it. And something else we got to do just before Christmas, and then we got busy and we can get back to it. We did Halo multiplayer, and that was a lot. Oh, that was fun. That
game is so great.
Oh my God. Changing the physics where you can jump really long. You got rocket launchers. It's frustratingly hilarious.
The game that we played with the other couple of friends, the four of us, and this is what I loved the most, is the fact that it doesn't require you to have a whole bunch of randoms in with you if you're going to play online.
No, yeah.
You could just you and your friends, the perfect way.
And you can just do 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2.
Or you could do free for all.
Oh, yeah,
we did 2 versus 2, which was awesome. And we kind of traded up the team so everybody got a chance to partner with each other.
Yeah.
I don't think we stopped laughing.
No.
The whole time.
It was just constant. It's so fun seeing somebody just running by and you got your rocket launcher, you go, it feels so satisfying hearing them scream, oh, God damn it. Yeah, you're like, yes. And then all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, you get it.
Yep.
And that's the way it is. It's funny in that game. I was saying in another episode, I'm not a great Halo player, but there's little moments when you get on a killing spree and you feel good. And I'm getting this game. Also, you could die all the time. Oh, God damn it. But you could feel the more you played, you're getting better. You're getting warming up that kind of muscle again. So I was really enjoying that. And then I did the multiplayer campaign. I finished it.
Oh, nice.
I finished it. One thing I want to say, it's remarkable because it's open world to a certain extent. And so it's one of the better one-player Halo games that I've ever played. The only thing is, I really enjoyed it. I just want to say I really enjoyed it. It just sometimes feels, and how can I dare say this? It's so obvious. It's a bit of rinse and repeat, but it's a shooting game, so what else can it be? And I had a lot of fun in there. I'm not knocking it. But sometimes it's like, okay, I go in, I'm running down the hallway, I press a button, enemies come out, shoot all the enemies, run down the hallway. It's a little bit too... but I thought to myself, what more could they do? What more could they do? It's very samey. I'm not going to ruin it because I know you haven't
finished the campaign yet.
There's some things, some enemies that I wish showed up in it. I think anybody who's finished it knows what I'm talking about. That don't. No. And I'm like, oh, come on, that's Halo. Where is the thing? What's going on?
Where's the thing?
Where's the thing? Yeah.
No spoilers.
And so and I was kind of surprised because all of a sudden it just ended, and I was like, oh, that was the end. I really didn't. It was so anticlimactic. A little disappointed in that, but boy, oh boy, the open worldness going up and getting surrounded by enemies. It was really cool at times. I was really surprised how you got to do it.
I got to get back and finish it.
Yeah, it's not a hard game. I mean, you can pick your difficulty level as well, but but what's hard in the game? Sometimes you just get swarmed. By the NPCs. Sometimes you're running in because it's open world. All of a sudden you're like, I'm in a really bad spot, and then you got these brutes coming at you, and they're charging you. You're running all over the place. It's fun. The one thing I want to say about Halo and why I think I enjoyed the multiplayer so much is because I didn't play the last couple. I did Halo 1, 2, 3. I did Reach and ODST and all that stuff.
Yes.
I love those games. But at that, it was getting a little samey, but it was okay. And then all of a sudden, I think it was 3, 4 came out, and that's 4, 5.
I managed an hour and a bit of the campaign, and I
I was just like, I don't feel it's for me. And I think it did serve me right, because when I went to play the campaign mode now, it felt, I really enjoyed Halo again.
Yes.
And I think that's the one thing, if anybody's out on the fence about Halo, it's kind of brings you back in a little bit. It kind of brings you back into what is Halo. The only thing, the story was really, I hate to say it, was really boring to me.
Oh,
it's just you run into a place, and then there's a big hologram of the big bad guy saying how bad I am and how he's gonna get me, and he never quite does. And I run into another building, and he's back again, telling me he's gonna get me, and how I'm a bad guy, and he's got a master plan. And then I kill whoever's in there. Then I go to another building. Then he shows up. This guy. I'm just like, dude, just stop now.
I know the last 8 attempts didn't work, but the 9th one will do it.
Oh, God, yeah. Like
this time.
Even the replacement for Cortana that you get, it's always the same animation. You walk in the room, she runs up, and then the hologram opens up, and he's like, here we go again. And that's my problem. That was my problem with the game. That's what made it seem so samey. The combat and shooting is awesome. But I think some of those cinematics were really kind of wearing me down and going, well, okay. That was really rinse and repeat. You have no idea.
It's the same speech.
You wait till you play it, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, we got to wrap it up. Any other games? Real quick.
Okay, really quickly, I am going to say this, and this was a heck of a surprise for me. So, my youngest, as you know, is obsessed with Hot Wheels. Loves Hot Wheels cars, loves the track sets, loves to play with them, loves to collect them, obsessed with them. There was a game that came out called Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Right.
And he got it for Christmas.
Yeah. What system?
It's on Xbox Series X and PS5, PS4, Xbox One.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's all around. I think it's also on the Switch, so it's everywhere.
Yeah, PC. Yeah.
Wow. So as a kid, I loved Hot Wheels. I loved playing with them. I loved my little Dukes of Hazzard cars and everything else that I would play with. I'd drive them around little cityscapes. This game is a racing game that uses actual Hot Wheels, and the tracks are, although they're not the single wide. It's wider. It is the orange plastic tracks with the click-together pieces.
Oh, I remember them.
It's all... And so the background's behind. It looks like a room, either a basement or a garage or whatever they've set it in, a college dorm room, with a giant track setup in it.
So do you make your tracks, or you can just play one-player mode?
There's a track editor, so you can make your own as well, but it has a bunch of preset tracks and a bunch of different modes, and then the way the cars work is you earn coins by winning races, and you use those to buy blind boxes. That there's a certain number of cars you can unlock in total, and you open a blind box.
You don't have to spend any money for that?
There are no microtransactions.
Yay!
Everything is unlocked by playing only.
Thank God.
Which I have to absolutely respect them for.
Yeah.
Very rare they do
when
that
you were
anymore.
talking, I was like, oh, here we go.
No, it's all, you have to play to unlock.
Oh,
and I love that.
Wow.
You can purchase DLC, very specific DLCs. Like right now they have a cross promotion with DC Comics. So there's a whole Batman themed section that you can pay for if you want to do that DLC.
Like the old Batman Hot Wheels.
Yeah, so you've got all the different Batmobiles and the Penguin cars and the Bane cars and the Croc cars and which is cool. That's cool. And you can pay a little if you want to. You can pay extra to have that.
You do the basics. Yeah.
But if you stick to the basics, no problem. And they even did a set of Thanksgiving themed and Christmas themed cars for free for download.
Yeah.
Every Hot Wheels fantasy I've ever had just came true.
Yeah.
Because I am sitting there with the little Hot Wheels cars, some of which I still own.
Yeah.
On the track, racing, and they drift around corners, and they go through speed boosters, and they go over jumps, and they go in the dinosaur mouths, and the whole nine, just like I imagined as a kid.
And your kids love it.
My kids love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm playing it more than them.
That's funny.
I don't feel kind of bad saying that, but like I am in there.
Oh, that's cool. And it's a good racing game itself. It controls well.
Yeah. If you love Hot Wheels, check it out.
Nice.
Sorry, I had to toss that in.
No. That's actually an interesting recommendation. That's, I think, a great recommendation for people out there. Especially, you got kids. We never recommend games for kids too often.
Yeah, this is a great family game because you can play multiplayer. So
that's so good. So, guys, let us know what you've been playing down below. So, anyways, guys, until next time.